become a Maltese chef?
Well, I was a young fella back in the early 1980s, and my father was, cooking every day of the week, and he was a chef, and he loved cooking Maltese food, Australian food, different cuisines. And pretty much I learned out of a home kitchen how to cook a lot of Maltese dishes, feeding the neighbours and feeding people around that we gradually knew over the years. And I eventuated into a company in Crown Street in Sydney at the age of 16. And I learned how to make proper pastizzis from Lely in Crown Street. And that was my passion, to make good quality home style food and proper Maltese food and proper pastizzi. And then I eventuated from there, and I became a chef in Sydney for 15 years of my life. And I pretty much got bored of chefing. I'm not bored. I missed the fact that, my heritage was there, and I was cooking a lot of other cuisines. And I went back to my heritage and started cooking for myself, and ran a couple of businesses in Penrith and around Sydney. And I basically wanted to run a Maltese restaurant at one stage of my life and run a pastizzi shop. And I'm pretty much based in the western suburbs, producing really good pastizzis and ravioul and Hobbs Bizet and tumpana, and trying to get the community involved in it and the culture back together within the western suburbs, which is great. And I think I'm doing a really good thing by bringing the heritage and keeping it going, because I'm very proud of who I am and where I've come from and where my ancestors come from, especially my father and my grandfather. They were both chefs by trade. My grandfather was a famous cook in Malta, in Valletta. He ran a few businesses in Valletta, and his food was outstanding. And apparently, as far as I knew, my grandfather, when he was based in Sydney, Australia, me watching him cook food in his older years, and my father taking the role on after him, inspired me to do the same thing. And I thought to myself, I like doing this, and now here I am making pastizzis and delivering pastizzis and Maltese cuisine to western suburb Sydney. I've just arrived back from Malta not so long ago, and Maltese heritage inspired me sincerely to do this again. As much as I love it and as much as I've been doing it, Malta has look, their culture, all I can say is they love pastizzi, they love the Maltese food, they love eating bread, they love eating bagilla, they love eating stuffed fart, they love rabbit. And I learned a lot from Spink's pastizzi in Malta. I worked there for a bit, had an overview of what their procedures were, and that inspired me a lot when I come back into Sydney. That really opened up my eyes, and I wanted Sydney to see what Malta gives their people when they're delivering every single day of the week. Because what I've seen in Malta is people going crazy over pastizzi, and pastizzi is probably the number one thing in Malta, as well as rabbit. And there's massive competition in pastizzi. The amount of people that are in Malta, well, I'm not sure how many there were, but there was a lot of people like me there visiting and having a good time. Every corner of Malta there's a pastizzi shop, and I think Sydney should be the same, and Australia should be the same as, on the ballpark of Malta. We've got enough people out here in Sydney at the moment to bombard Sydney with the heritage and pass it on to their children. And when their children find out, what they know about Maltese food and cuisine and where they come from, and then you go over to Gozo, that's pretty much, another world in itself. It's it's a challenge in its own accord to see them parts of the world and to see these guys work hard every day and every night just for the little bit of, give back that what Maltese people have and what Maltese people eat every day. And that's what inspired me the most, because the heritage in Maltese and the older generation, like my generation and older than me, they thrive on what we eat and what we give people and how we deliver. And I'm doing exactly the same in my mind every single day of the week. I live and breathe Maltese food, and I live and breathe my heritage, and I'm proud of it. So Malta in itself, very old country, very smart people, and it's one in a million. Like, you can't go anywhere in the world and see what you see in Malta. They're just an interesting bunch of people when it comes towards having food, culture, restaurants, clubs, pubs, hotels. They're very happy people. Yeah, when I was in Malta recently, we visited the Fastens factory. They produce kidney, which we do sell here at site. I like advertising kidney. I love advertising the Chisk brand. I love the taste of Chisk and kidney itself. The local people around Sydney love the fact that we sell this product. And we also sell a few other products in Sunburst Maltese. We sell a lot of Zamet sausage, which are really good product. We also have the Pace Farm brand here of the Didge Bayonet and the fresh cheese. And I also make my own bagilla. And with the bagilla we make the Maltese caponata. And the caponata goes really good with a lot of fish and a lot of other dishes. And you can basically put it on anything. We sell a lot of ravioli out of here. Our homemade ravioli, it's all handmade. And we sell it hot and cold. We sell our pastizzis hot and cold here every single day of the week. And as for that, we do Rossin Fawn. The spirit of pretty much giving people fresh ravioli every single day, fresh pastizzi every day. We cook it every day here. We do our own beef brisket pastizzi, our corned beef and piselli pastizzi. We do our original ricotta pastizzi, and also a ravioli every single day of the week. Everything's handmade. Everything we have that comes into our company, including the cheeses, the dips, the sauces, and the biscuits we get from other companies. And we all enjoy our culture. That's the whole reason we're trying to bring it aboard. We're highly motivated in trying to bring our culture basically into Sydney, which is working, and it has worked in the past, but we want to push it even further. And that's pretty much what we're doing now. We work hard as a team, and we just love making what we do. We love making pastizzis. Look, in Australia, they don't have, we have baked macaroni at home, and I've introduced that into my shop, and we have tumpana as well. It's pretty much like a baked macaroni with pastry on top of it, and tumpana in Malta is great. People love it, they love the name, and they love the fact that they've got a bit of pastry underneath, a bit of other pastry with meats and sauces, and then they turn it over and it just oozes out. It's actually a voluptuous sort of dish. With the rabbit we have here in Australia, we have great rabbit, we have good stuffed fart, we have good fried rabbit, and a lot of people enjoy that sort of product. You know, in Malta there's copious amounts of octopus we don't have in Australia. A lot of people like baby octopus. We like large, thick, long octopus. You know, we call it a stuffed fart to octopus. We love it. And that's another one of our home dishes. And you don't see that much in Australia. And, you know, we try to, you know, we go over to Malta and you see all these other dishes, but there's copious amounts of it. There's so much of it, it's unbelievable, because the culture over there loves it. And, you know, they can't get enough of it. And that's the Maltese people, the original people, the people that live there, that they've reared their kids there from hundreds of years ago. You know, they're still eating the same product today as what they were eating, you know, 90 and 110 years ago. And that's what we're cooking here. And that's what I love doing, and we love pushing that, and my kids love it as well. And when people walk in our doors, they love to see what, you know, they've enjoyed in their life of growing up as an Australian Maltese, and that's what we're about here. You know, we're cooking with tradition, and we're cooking with pride and passion, and I think, you know, other people in Australia, in this multicultural world, they're loving it. They want it every single day. But there's not enough of us out there in Australia, in Sydney, Melbourne, Victoria, Western Australia, parts of Queensland. There's not too many people out there that cook Maltese heritage food, and it's very hard to come by. So that's pretty much, you know, my dedication is to live and breathe what you guys want to eat, and try to make you feel happy when you're sitting at your dinner table every single night of the week, and enjoy what, you know, your mum and dad used to cook, and what you used to buy in Malta. When you used to walk around the streets of Valletta, when we walked around the streets of Valletta, there was just ancient Roman products around there that, you know, people never even thought of. It's like walking back 1,000 years, and you discover places like that, but all of a sudden there's a pastizzi shop there, and then there's a ravioli shop there, and then some bloke selling rabbit or imare. You know, there's so many different things in Malta you can have that you don't have in Sydney, and that's what I want to push forward. And there's a lot of Maltese and a lot of Australian Maltese in Sydney that want to push that, but it's very, very, very hard for them to get through to it because there's not many around. So we're that little piece of Malta in Penrith. We're on 1/9 Coombs Drive, Penrith. It's in the back of Penrith. We're in the back of a little corner, and it's easy to find. A lot of people come, enjoy hot ravioli, hot pastizzi, tumpana. Whatever I got on the day, I'll cook. I don't cook a set menu, but I cook a lot of different sorts of Maltese food. Whatever I feel like cooking on the day, if it's Hobbs Bizet, if it's tumpana, if it's Rossin fawn, if it's ravioli, you know, we push it forward. If we feel like octopus, we'll go and get octopus from the seafood market, and we'll make some octopus. If we get rabbit from our wholesalers, we'll go and push the rabbit, and we'll make some rabbit as well. So I am Australian. I'm first generation Australian Maltese, and I'm proud to be Australian, and I love Australia, and I love the beautiful big country we live in, the voluptuous food we have. We have so much variety of food in Australia, it's amazing. We're so lucky to have this land and this prosperous, you know, part of the world to live in, and I'm so lucky for my parents to land here when they were younger and they were first gens Maltese, and now I'm a first gen Australian Maltese man with my kids underneath me, and they're learning our culture as much as I love to learn and live and breathe it. You know, our culture in Australia is, you know, probably 1% in Australia. We have You know, not many restaurants in Australia that are Maltese or Maltese Italian. There's 1,000 Italian restaurants. There's 500,000 Chinese restaurants. And then you got Lebanese restaurants. You got all these other different cuisines and Indians. And here we go. We got Maltese cuisine in Penrith. And the fact of having Maltese cuisine in Penrith, Blacktown, Parramatta of Sydney and Melbourne, and there's a couple in Queensland. I'm here to push that, and it's my, you know, my future to push these guys in Australia. Being Australian myself, being who I am, where I live, where I've lived all my life, but my background is Malta. My parents are Maltese, they're first generation, and I love the fact that I'm allowed and I'm free, and everyone else in this country is free to delve in what we love and what we work for. And we're giving people a part of what we have from Malta and a part of what my parents have brought down in my generation to say, you know, this is what we eat. It's all home-cooked meals. It's home-cooked food. This is what we're bringing to you guys every day. You guys that are, you know, back early 2020 or 1990s, early 90s, you were eating all that food from your parents learn off their grandparents, and now I'm trying to push the guys in the future of 2021 and 2022, 2023 and 4, just to prove to them what we eat and where we've come from and what we enjoy. And now I'm doing it for the guys in the western suburbs, and it's proven to be a good example. They love home-cooked Maltese food, and I love it, and it's in my blood. It's in my wife's blood. We live and breathe Maltese food. We love the fact that my parents are Maltese, my wife's parents are an Australian. She's a proud Australian, so am I, and I'm an Australian all through and through, and that's who I love being. But my heritage is gold, and that's all it will be in the rest of my life. It's what we eat and what we live for. And we're a lucky country to have little shops like mine, to have little delicacies that people don't really understand on the outside, that don't have much Maltese variety and much, you know, Maltese cheeses and breads and sausage and pastizzi. And then we got the variety of our Australian cuisines. Like, you know, we're a bit of everything here, and that's who we are, and that's what we like. And to see people come from all walks of life into my little shop, mate, I get goosebumps every day. Every single day of the week, someone walks in my shop that's from a different state or coming off the boat from Malta, and they want ravioli or they want pastizzi. They're coming straight off the plane, straight down to our shop, and they bang straight in here. They want hot pastizzi, they want fried ravioli, they want fried rabbit, they get their fried salsette. We get this every single day of the week, mate, and then we get this every day of the week. We've even got our fresh cheese. And then we've got, you know, our dips we make here every single day of the week. We're proud of what we do. My kids are proud of what we do. I'm proud to be Australian, and I'm proud that we're here to embrace the fact that we love, you know, our culture.